Hello all, and welcome back to another Hyper Blue Reviews. Today I want to tackle one of the more infamous bad games. Today I'm going to talk about Plumbers Don't Wear Ties for the 3DO. So buckle up, this one's going to get pretty interesting. Also, in the spirit of things, I'm going to present this review like Plumbers Don't Wear Ties presents its FMV, as static images. Enjoy. Plumbers Don't Wear Ties is a unique game in gaming history, which is kind of funny as it isn't really much of a game at all. It's an FMV game that has as much animation as a Microsoft PowerPoint presentation. Have I hit on all the known tropes yet? I'm not sure, but let's get on with discussing how this game came about. Developed by United Pictures, or Pictures, a company I can find zero information about, and published by Kieran Entertainment for the 3DO version. Kieran Entertainment is best known for unleashing Plumbers Don't Wear Ties on the masses, but they also released one other game called The Perfect General. There's also a DOS version of Plumbers Don't Wear Ties that was published by United Pictures. Apparently, the DOS version was released a few years prior to the 3DO port. Interestingly enough, the DOS version is supposed to have better audio and is completely uncensored. The DOS version of Plumbers Don't Wear Ties received a very limited release and is highly collectible. I will say that you can find the game on archive.org though. Plumbers Don't Wear Ties' story is on par with the likes of Shakespeare, Dickens, and Hemingway. It centers on John and Jane. They are two people that are being pressured by their parents to find someone to settle down with. Unbeknownst to our heroes, their lives are never going to be the same, because they're in Plumbers Don't Wear Ties. Actually, it's because the two meet by random chance, or plot convenience, and pretty much fall in love. There's some shenanigans that ensue depending on the choices you make, but Plumbers Don't Wear Ties is all about getting John and Jane together.
Your mission, should you accept it, is to get these two lovebirds together. You know how difficult it is in real life. One wrong move, and you're sitting home alone on a Saturday night. One wrong move here, and the consequences for these lovers could be dire and unexpected. Fair warning, sport. Go ahead, make their day, and your choice. But you better make it damn good. Remember, we're keeping score.
John is a plumber who rides a motorcycle and wears a tie, and Jane is looking for work, although I'm not quite clear on what kind of work.
I'll empty trash. Look, can I clean up offices? I'll even make coffee. I can work my way up the organization. I just need someone to give me a chance, please. Mr. Thresher, I don't have a lot of money. I was counting on this job, praying for this. Oh God, Mark, I'm desperate.
Fun fact, I actually worked with a plumber for a few weeks myself, so I guess the title of this review is as misleading as the title of this game. In any case, there's obviously more that happens within the game. There's a slime ball named Thresher that tries to take advantage of poor Jane, a ridiculous chase scene which actually feels like a majority of the story, and a couple of narrators that really do more to distract from the story than help.
So much for that liberation front. I'm back in control now.
Despite there being multiple paths to take, there's really only one main story to Plumbers Don't Wear Ties. That is, John runs into Jane, Thresher tries to take advantage of Jane, the chase scene, the negotiation scene, and the final choice scene. Other paths will eventually lead you to this end, or a game over.
John, I'm sorry, but there's something I have to tell you.
Oh God, here it comes. She has some dark secret. She's got a boyfriend. I knew it. Someone this gorgeous has to have a boyfriend. Oh my God. What if she has a disease?
Okay, I've spent some time talking about the story of Plumbers Don't Wear Ties. I'd be remiss if I didn't talk about the gameplay, though. Plumbers Don't Wear Ties has all the hot, exciting action of a poorly functioning DVD menu. Ah, there we go. I think that was the last obvious joke. Seriously, though, the only thing the player does is select choices off of a menu. Think adventure games in the style of Telltale games, but you can take as long as you want to make a decision. Also, the choices you make don't really matter.
Take your damn clothes off!
Let me explain. The game presents itself as a narrative-driven game that evolves depending on the player's choices, but it's mostly just an exercise for the player to find their way to the end. You see, there are multiple choices for the player to make. Choosing the incorrect choice, meaning the one that doesn't lead to the game's wacky ending, causes the narrator to get angry, and then the player gets the chance to choose again. Again, the game will lead you to the ending that it wants you to see, and what an ending it is.
Seriously, I want to meet your mother
Jane, hold on a sec. I don't want us to get started on the wrong foot here. There's something you have to know.
Yes? What is it, dear?
Well, you see, it's about my work. I'm really a plumber.
Oh, I just love your sense of humor. You're such a joker.
No, I'm serious. I'm really a plumber.
John, plumbers don't wear ties. Now, come on, stop fooling around. I know. Why don't we get something to eat? I'm hungry. You have plans for dinner?
No, I don't have plans for dinner anymore.
Then why don't we go to my place? I'll cook something for you.
You cook?
Well, if it doesn't work out, we can call for pizza.
That sounds great.
What? My cooking or my pizza?
It doesn't matter. You've got me eating out of your hand already. Now, let's just pretend I was a plumber. Would it matter to you?
Now stop it! You're such a jokester.
I'm really a plumber. My nickname's Rooter. Okay, what if I was a janitor or a garbage collector? Would it matter?
John, I love who you are right now. What's wrong with being an account rep? What's the big deal? Why do you want to be someone you're not? Just be yourself, John.
I'm trying.
Just so long as you're not a lawyer.
Don't insult me, Jane. I'd rather be a plumber. Are you sure you want to meet my mother?
But back to the gameplay, though. Yes, the only interaction the player has is with the choices they're presented with. But how does it control? It controls about as well as you would expect a game called Plumbers Don't Wear Ties to control. Terribly. Of course, I'm being slightly hyperbolic with that previous statement. The issue with making choices is that someone reads the text when the option is highlighted. The player is unable to make another selection until the voiceover stops. It's not the biggest issue, but it is still kind of an issue. Plumbers Don't Wear Ties also presents the player with a very goofy point system. Depending on the choices you make, you either earn points or lose points. It's technically impossible to finish the entire game with a high score, as the main game takes you down a path of debauchery. So, all that being said, Plumbers Don't Wear Ties is a game where the choices are superficial and the points don't matter. Okay, enough about things that everyone is probably familiar with. Let's talk about how the game came about. So, Plumbers Don't Wear Ties is a unique game in the sense that it really isn't much of a game at all. I will say that it's definitely a blemish on the 3DO's reputation, and was listed as one of the worst games ever on several publications and websites, which of course you can find in the description down below. This is due to several factors, including, but not limited to, bad acting, ridiculous visuals, bad box art, and the fact that the game plays like a slideshow presentation instead of FMV. Plumbers Don't Wear Ties was written, directed, and produced by Michael Anderson. You may know Michael Anderson from such works as, well, Plumbers Don't Wear Ties. Honestly, I'm not sure if he went on to write, direct, or produce anything after this masterpiece. IMDB has this as his only project, and I can't find anything else on any other sites. So, how does a game like this get made? Well, Plumbers Don't Wear Ties was apparently not even supposed to be published at all. It was apparently just something a group of friends made for fun. Jeanne Basone, the actress that plays Jeanne, apparently answered some questions on the Plumbers Don't Wear Ties board on GameFAQS. She mentions that she was friends with Michael Anderson and was just helping him out. I'm not sure how accurate the trivia section from IMDb is, but apparently the game was released because they were curious about how the game would do if released. Given there's no citation, I assume that they refers to Michael Anderson and company.
Jane, it's not that way. I don't want you for a night. I want you for a lifetime. I've been searching for you.
Freudian slip?
That was an egotist, didn't it? I'm going to keep that in the script. I'm going to use that. I'm going to paste that together and use that.
Okay. All right, ready?
Oh, that's
Okay.
All right. Down the top, page 6.
Now, grain of salt with all this. The GameFAQS message board seems to be accepted as fact, but I'm not sure where the IMDb trivia came from. Speaking of, there is an interesting factoid about the slideshow presentation of the game. It was apparently changed from FMV to the slideshow format to avoid an adult-only rating for the scenes featuring Thresher. I don't know why it couldn't be a slideshow for those scenes only and not the rest of the game, but hey, I wasn't there when they made the decision. I mentioned that Plumbers Don't Wear Ties is a blemish on the 3DO's reputation, but there are a lot of opinions that Plumbers Don't Wear Ties was so bad that it actually hurt the 3DO in the long run. I mean, I agree that the game was a commercial failure, but I doubt that's what led to the system's downfall. I would think that the extremely high sales price of the 3DO combined with poor manufacturing choices did it in. I'm not sure where I heard that Plumbers Don't Wear Ties hurt the 3DO, and even though I did say that Plumbers Don't Wear Ties tarnished the 3DO's legacy, I'm not saying that the 3DO is a bad system. In fact, it does have its fair share of good games. A lot of the games that I own fall onto the goofy side, but I still stand by my statement that the 3DO has good games. Well, that's the end of Plumbers Don't Wear Ties' legacy, or is it? Limited Run Games has acquired the rights to Plumbers Don't Wear Ties and is going to release it for a majority of modern consoles. I'm not sure if the game will feature any bonus features or not, but I'd be interested in checking it out if it did. If you weren't planning on picking up a copy of Plumbers Don't Wear Ties from Limited Run Games, but you'd still like to play it, then you're in luck. I've made the game playable on YouTube. Check out the link in the description if you're interested. So, I hear you asking, is the game good? Well, not really. I'm not entirely sure what genre to rate this game against. I see people say it's like a visual novel, but I don't buy into that. Visual novels have text you can progress. Plumbers Don't Wear Ties is also barely an FMV game, but I think that's what I would stick with. So, as an FMV game, Plumbers Don't Wear Ties fails. I will say, I still believe that Plumbers Don't Wear Ties has more FMV than Psycho Killer though, so there's that. But the gameplay is unlike any other FMV game style out there, and it really didn't impress me. That being said, would I recommend that people play this game, or at least watch the scenes? Absolutely. Those that know my taste in movies know that I love a good cult film. I would honestly say that this is a cult game. Plumbers Don't Wear Ties is so bad that it's good, given its goofy effects, situation, and acting. It was released on an obscure system that not many people had, so not a lot of people played it. I highly recommend grabbing a copy for modern consoles to enjoy with friends.
I'm a real man. I'm also caring and sensitive. I love the arts, theater, children, grandparents, and chocolate chip
You
cookies.
are so worried about your self-image. I bet you can't even get it up.
Can't so.
I doubt it.
I can get it up.
Can't.
You bull-like bitch. You women just love to put down wimps. I mean men, don't you? Admit it. It's become a national pastime for you women. Hasn't it? Hasn't it? I hate women like you. I'll kill you for this.
All in all, this game can provide a lot of laughs if you let it. The humor is dated by today's standards, but I still laugh at it. Sadly, the quirkiness of the acting and story is all the game has going for it. Other than that, the gameplay is non-existent and the story does drag at certain points. I'm honestly torn on the rating though. Yes, the gameplay elements are not there, but the player does get some input into where the story goes, even if most of the branches are technically game overs. On the other hand, the game is hilarious to me and I love how ridiculous it is. It's a game that you're honestly not supposed to take serious. It's a game you sit there and play with your friends and laugh at the entire time. In terms of gameplay, I give Plumbers Don't Wear Ties 1 creepy boss out of 5. In terms of it's so bad it's good nature, I'm giving Plumbers Don't Wear Ties 5 tie-wearing plumbers out of 5. So if I average the scores out, Plumbers Don't Wear Ties is a solid 3. That being said, I hope you enjoyed this review. As always, thank you for watching.